no buts, no public sector cuts. No ifs, no buts, no public sector cuts. No ifs, no buts, no public sector cuts.
I'm a lifelong trade unionist and a member of Sinn Fein, an activist, and I'm here today to support the party and ICTU in their opposition to the Tory cuts. There are enough unemployment in the north. There are too many people that are being deprived. Poverty is rife. Young people are killing themselves. We think we have to stop that, and the Tory way is the wrong way. Sinn Fein says the better way.
I think today is very important because this is a display of our opposition to the Tory cuts, and it's terribly important that the people of Northern Ireland show their opposition to it, and this is the first salvo of our campaign against the cuts.
No public sector cuts! No ifs, no buts, no public sector cuts!
Fág bhfuil me se héanann seo na go bhfuil me atácaí leis na hebrithe eile atá siúil agus a trid ar son cearta an Lochtobre agus sin go sé an tacht go híh na cuasaí a tharla an seacaite na cuirthe go gaithí muid taispint nach mé muid sásta ghlacaí leis na cuirthe seo ar Corby.
Today is the first mobilisation in a long time of unions and community alike. This is the start of a campaign. We are very clear that there are alternatives and we're not about to see upwards of 40,000 people losing their jobs. More than half the people on this march, their jobs are currently under threat, and we're all going to fight for them. But we're also going to fight for the people on welfare benefits because they've just been made poorer.
Well, we're here because this is, if you want any evidence that it's not over yet, then this is the evidence. It's a huge crowd. Sinn Fein have a strong crowd here as well. And we're against the cuts. There's other parties seem to have given up on it. We're not going to give up on it. You know, there's a fight still to be had. And this is an attack on working class people. You hear Martin McGuinness talking about when Maggie Thatcher was here. This is round two. I heard somebody else did a great quote last week. They said, never waste a good crisis. And what the Conservatives here are doing is they're using the fact that there is an actual crisis here to bring in policies against the working class people that they were going to bring in anyway. So this is damaging working people. And what's our job to defend working people? Defend jobs, to get them jobs, to defend the frontline services.
Oh, it's we have public services here, health, education, we have a lot of people on benefits. We have to make sure that we protect our frontline services. We have to make sure that we fight for more money. We can't accept that British Tory government are making cuts to essential services, and it's very important our voices are heard. We're going to stand up and be counted.
There's a group of us come down from Derry today. We think it's important that we're part of this protest, that there's collective opposition to these cuts that George Osborne and the Tory government are trying to impose on the Assembly and the Executive. I think the turnout today gives some sort of sense of the anger and resentment that people feel about the Westminster government trying to impose upon the Assembly cuts and efficiencies. And I think that the demonstration today is one of the steps that needs to be taken to ensure that we oppose this in every way possible.
President message to those who rule us with threats and who generate fear through lies and spin. Last Wednesday, George Osborne, Chancellor of the Exchequer and Trust Fund tax avoider, claimed yet again that we're all in it together. He then had the brass neck to claim that those with the broadest shoulders should share the burden. He then proceeded to place the entire burden of the deficit onto the least deserving and those least able to withstand the pain. The poor, the ill, young people, women and ordinary working families. The Tories and their enablers and the propaganda merchants talk about fairness being at the heart of what they're doing. Well, is it fair for a cabinet of millionaires to cut over £18 billion from benefit claimants? Is it fair for the investment banks and hedge funds who caused the crisis to pay a measly £2.5 billion when we know that they're rewarding themselves with £7 million of bonuses? Is it fair for those same banks to get most of that £2.5 billion through cuts in corporation tax? Just like the businessmen who backed Osborne cuts this week, between them we know they pocketed over 14 million in obscene salaries this year. Is that fair? Is it fair for the pensioners in Fermanagh and Omagh who will have had their elderly care cut by 18,000 hours this year already? Is it fair for the most vulnerable local families who need help, whose social workers and child protection staff are struggling with £6 million in cuts so far this year? We salute those workers who are balloting for industrial action, not for personal selfish gain, but to ensure that their clientele have adequate resources. Is it fair for the people of Antrim and Mid-Ulster, whose hospitals have no longer A&E sections? The elite who created this crisis see workers, public services and the most vulnerable as the bank of last resort when they need to be bailed out. They think that taxes are for the little people. Half of them should be in prison for wrecking the economy and the other half for tax dodging. I'll tell you what fairness is. This is the most unequal country in Europe. If we imposed a mere 2% wealth tax on the richest 10%, we could raise 78 billion in 1 year. If we had a Robin Hood tax on speculation, the excesses of investment bankers and hedge funds, we could raise 20 billion more. If we employed enough tax inspectors with the same political backing to pursue tax cheats as we have for chasing benefit fraud, then we could raise 123 billion per year in taxes, which are evaded, avoided or unbelievably not collected. It is those with the broadest shoulders who really pay their share. We can wipe out this deficit in 1 single year. You might of course think that tax cheats would excite our Minister for Finance. No, but annoys Sammy Wilson most as you've been here today. If the Tories want to worsen an economic crisis, let us see how they can deal with the determined opposition across these islands. Let us stand together with our brothers and sisters in Wales and Scotland and as a united Northern Ireland shouting, stop the cuts. Thank you.